And next up at UFC Fight Night, we've got Michel Pereira taking on Zach Reese. And I'm going to kick this one off here. Give me Pereira, man. I think Pereira here, get right spot. It feels like it should be here against Zach Reese. No shame in Zach Reese. He's probably proven a little bit more to me than what I originally thought. Tall man defense, tends to get off to slow starts, tends to get beaten up early in rounds. And we saw in his last fight against McVeigh, took that fight on short notice, don't get me wrong, but McVeigh is not UFC level. He came out and put it on Zachary Reese early in that fight, beating him up in the clinch. They both ended up on the ground. Zachary Reese was able to use his grappling to get it done. But to me, Michel Pereira, obviously he's been on a 3-fight skid, but it's been against some of the better guys in the division. You know, Anthony Hernandez, who's in the main event here against Strickland. You know, been on an ascendancy. Abusna Magnomedov is no slouch in my opinion. I know Carlos might say otherwise, and Kyle Dorcas, who's a guy, you know, that we've seen improve, good ground game, but Zachary Reese, man, I feel like if you can't beat Zachary Reese, in my opinion, and Michel Pereira, if you cannot beat him, then you should retire. This should be all Pereira here. I can't believe that he's only a slight favorite. And I think the reason for this line being so close is because people don't trust Pereira on this 3-fight skid. He's kind of been on an ascendancy, finishing guys early in the first round. He's looked great. And then since then, he's kind of really taken a fall off of a cliff in terms of performances. We know with Michel Pereira, obviously very explosive in round one, physical specimen, backflips, dancing to the cage. Know what we're going to get from this guy. He's been around the block, a lot of MMA experience, and in UFC as well. The guy's very explosive, especially early. He hunts to the body. He'll finish you in round one, and if he doesn't get that finish, then he tends to gas. So my only concern here is that Pereira puts it on Zach Reese early in round one, or he doesn't get the finish and he gasses, and Zach Reese is able to take over, which is what he's shown he can do in previous fights against guys like Josh McVeigh. Or Pereira tends to sort of manage his gas tank here and ultimately doesn't push himself. You saw in that Abusna Magnomedov fight, he was so, worried about his gas tank and him kind of, having, not enough for the later rounds, that he wasn't able to push himself early and ended up being kind of a slouchy performance from him. So Pereira, I feel confident in you. Don't prove me wrong here. I feel like, again, I'm going to reiterate this for the channel. If he doesn't win against Zachary Reese, this is an ideal matchup. He should retire.
Recently retired.
You are retired?
Yes. And now,
physical or mental?
This is terrible. He should be able to finish Zach Reese early in round one. If not, I think Reese might come back late in round 2 or 3. Carlos, who you got in this one?
Well, whether he retires or not after this one, if he loses, I don't think he's going to have a problem, because that'll be 4. I think the UFC will be like, what happened to this guy? They're going to get rid of him. But I am going to go with Pereira as well. And the only reason why, he's the better athlete. He's the better fighter. Yes, his cardio has been lacking in the later rounds because he empties the gas tank in the first, pretty much trying to get you out of there. But since the Hernandez fight, he's been trying to manage it, and it hasn't worked for him, because that's just not how he's built to fight. And if anyone you're going to finish in the first round, maybe early second, it's going to be Zachary Reese. He leaves a lot of openings, and he's very hesitant in the beginning of the fight. So although he's been on this very unimpressive skid, I think he can land the shots that are necessary to get Zach Reese out of there. So I'm going to take Pereira to get it done. And like you said, too, we're going to give him his props. Reese has also done very well in his last couple of fights, and he's looked better. But just because you've looked better doesn't mean you should be beating someone the caliber of Pereira. So let's go, Michel. Let's get it done, brother.
Yeah, Pereira, save the dancing for Fortnite, baby, and get this guy out of here. I like you, but you've been on a bit of a poor performance streak here. So let's get this one done, Ben.